Hi, I'm Rabia,
Hi, I'm Sana.
and this is our Jab We Met story.
For those of you who don't know, jab means when in Urdu. So there's an app called Clubhouse. It's a social media audio app. I stumbled upon your room, Rabia, over there, where you hosted a weekly show called Think Better, Feel Better. I was on this road of learning about what mental health is, what awareness is, what we need to do to to get ourselves out of that mental depression and to mentally survive. And I was able to do that. I was able to kind of, I call it, get myself on the other end of the fence, and I was already there. The level of change and the level of awakening and happiness I felt, it was like this charging feeling where I wanted to go back and help others also get to where I was. So much inspired me to reach out to you, Rabia. It was one night where you were telling your story. So it was always really inspirational to me to listen to you anyway. It was this one night where you told your story, and I was shocked as to how similar your story was to mine. I used to always think that maybe my story is the only one. And when I heard your story, I was like, there are others like me too. But it's just that we don't talk to each other. We don't let each other know what we're going through and be there for each other. When I heard you, I knew that I just had a feeling that this is it. She's the one who I need to reach out to, and sent a direct message. And I was, I know that it was out of nowhere, and I knew you have a big following, and that you probably get a lot of those.
I don't know how long after you had sent the message I had actually looked at it, but I saw it and I'm like, wow. Your text message said to me that you want to educate and empower people, men and women from the South Asian background. And also, you want to collaborate to do something. And you didn't know what that was. It sounded like you have your story as well, and I wanted to reach out. So that's how that happened. And then the next thing you know, we are actually connecting off of Clubhouse.
We started talking out of Clubhouse, and we had long, long, long discussions. I remember we couldn't even get off the phone because we just had so much to talk to, and we could relate so much to each other.
And you and I, when we were talking, we both realized that we were single mothers, that we were both divorced. We were talking about that and the family challenges. So that's something that we really connected on. And then we both were talking that wouldn't it have been great if we had someone who um, could help us through this time and let us know that what we're experiencing is natural.
I also realized as I heard you speaking, and as I heard you openly sharing your story, that it's okay to talk about it. It's okay to communicate how you feel. It's nothing to be ashamed of, because as I was even doing the things of being different, of not sacrificing or doing the things that the cultural beliefs had wanted me to do, doing different things, but still feeling really, really bad about it, feeling like I don't belong, feeling like there's no one there for me, or that I'm not good enough for this community. And just talking to you and hearing you talk about that stuff made me feel like it's okay to have this conversation, made me feel comfortable to talk about these things, and that there is support and there should be support for others like us.
The reason I do it is because I want people to know that it's okay to talk about your problems, that we don't have to sweep them under the rug, that we can change by talking about them, and that we must practice self-compassion and forgiveness in order to move forward.
Yeah. And I feel like where I felt in the area where I felt the most support was the actions that we took, or the decisions that we took as a result of the mental health issues that we were going through. Like like mental image issues or self-image issues and or self-abuse type of things that we did to compensate for this feeling of guilt and shame. And that's where I felt like we really need to be there for others who are going through the same as us, because that's where I needed it most, you know. And that's where I felt it when I heard you saying those same things that you went through, the allowing it to happen, the living the double life.
Mhm. And it's so common to suppress what we're experiencing and feeling, and then we end up living the double life, like you're saying, because we're not able to communicate
Mm.
or find the courage and support to take the actions that we can take in a healthy way, and we rather than causing destruction or damage, which often happens when we rebel. So we can find the healthiest way forward. It's about time that we start communicating about issues that have been swept under the rug for centuries. We need to talk about women's rights, and we need to talk about the income earning potential between male and female are pretty much at par or almost at par. But inside the home, there's an uneven distribution of responsibilities in the home, which need to change. These are just some issues. There are lots more issues, but this is where we're going to begin the conversation because these are topics that we really experienced firsthand.
Yeah, and these conversations are so hard to have in our culture, Rabia, that we just don't have them. And this is the time to start having these talks, to start communicating, to start talking to each other about this, to make each other feel like we are not alone, because at the end of the day, this will help us to have healthy relationships with each other, to have good, authentic, genuine relationships, live healthy lifestyle too in our community. And feel better about these selves about themselves, right? So we're creating this safe place to have these conversations.
For sure. And we want to, like you said, build healthy relationships, but our own relationship with ourselves as well, and not be subjected to that shame and guilt and fear of doing things because what will people think? It's always needing the validation or approval. So doing things in a way that we don't feel bad, even when we're doing good.
Exactly. I want to share, what I am feeling, which is feeling alive and happy and true to ourselves, being able to live uh, for us and for our true selves.
You've got to begin somewhere, and that this is where we're going to begin. Right, Sana?
Yeah, and this is what we need to do to nip those injustices too that happen in our culture a lot, and we don't ever get to talk about them, and it's almost considered normal at this point. So I think these conversations are going to create that change or start to create that change, and that's where we want to begin with. Two Daisy girls,
Reinventing.
cultural norms with love.